Everybody faces the same challenge on brand new ships, figuring out what's actually worth your time versus what's just marketing fluff. Star of the Seas has over 40 venues and hundreds of activities, but after sailing on the first 2 inaugural sailings of this ship, I found experiences so incredible that seasoned cruisers are calling them the best thing they've ever seen at sea. Every cruise line is building bigger and bigger ships these days, and they all promise incredible experiences and endless activities. But the question is this just another megaship with flashy marketing and overwhelming crowds? Or does it actually deliver that wow factor that we're all looking for? Well, after trying out as many activities as we could during our week on Star, here are the 12 must-do experiences that prove that Star of the Seas isn't just big, it is genuinely special. Let's start with what might be the most incredible thing I've ever seen on a cruise ship, and trust me, I've seen a lot of cruise ship entertainment. Back to the Future, the musical, isn't just some watered-down cruise version of a Broadway show. It is a full production with 16-piece orchestra, a 26-person cast, and yes, the actual DeLorean time machine on stage. And I'm not kidding when I say this show is nearly 2 hours long, and the special effects are absolutely mind-blowing. And when that DeLorean appears on the stage, the entire theater erupts, then it starts flying around. If you've seen aqua shows on other Royal Caribbean ships, you probably think you know what to expect. But torque in the Aquadome's theater is another level. This isn't the outdoor aqua theater like you may be used to from Oasis-class ships. This is climate controlled, which means perfect conditions every single time. The synchronized swimming, aerial acrobatics, and high diving are incredible. But what really sets it apart is that dramatic waterfall backdrop and the multimedia effects. Royal Caribbean has really tightened up the pacing from the show that we saw on Icon, and every moment felt more purposeful with less filler, and the stunts were absolutely amazing. On the nights that they will do the show, they will usually have 2 show times, and I would definitely recommend getting there at least 45 minutes before. We were there an hour before, and that's when they start letting people in. And also, in that seating, that's the only thing I did not like, there are only a few rows with seats with backs. And if you don't want to sit for almost 2 hours by the time you have to wait for the show and the show itself without a seat with the back, then make sure you get there early and get one of those more comfortable seats. Okay, this one is not for everyone, but if you're looking for an adrenaline rush, Crown's Edge is unlike anything else at sea, other than, of course, the Crown's Edge on Icon. Picture this, you're walking across this floating bridge, 150 feet or so above the ocean, and then the floor just drops out and you're swinging over the side of the ship with nothing but ocean below you. It is terrifying and exhilarating at the same time. I really love the experience of the Crown's Edge, and I have a whole video that I'll link here from Icon, which is the same ride. But here's a money-saving tip that I learned. You want to book this in advance through the cruise planner because it was as low as $24 or so. And if you wait until you're on board, it can cost as much as $60 or higher. Plus, your ticket, don't forget, includes a professional video of your experience that you can download through your Royal Caribbean app after the ride. At $200 per person, this might seem expensive, but hear me out. If you've done Empire Supper Club on Icon, Lincoln Park is a significant upgrade. This Chicago-themed experience includes an 8-course meal, all paired with cocktails, and I'm talking about full-size, strong cocktails, not samples, plus live jazz entertainment. They've added a trumpet to make it a quartet, and the food quality was exceptional. This venue only seats 38 people, so it feels really special. Men, you're going to need a jacket because they do enforce the formal dress code, and it does say formal dress code on an invitation. I will be doing a separate video reviewing the Lincoln Park Supper Club because there is so much to cover, but if you're looking for the ultimate date night experience, this is definitely it. Here's something that Royal Caribbean really improved on Star of the Seas, and that's if you love the food hall concept on Icon, they've made it even better here. There are 5 different cuisine stations and they're open until midnight, so it's perfect for those late night snacks. The new additions are really good. Mai Tai has a pad thai with some actual spice. There was a pig out barbecue that served up really good brisket sandwiches, and a new Mexican food station. They kept the 2 best stations from Icon, and that's Feta Mediterranean and Crème de la Crêpe. And honestly, I found myself here multiple times every day. Everything is freshly made to order and completely complimentary. I actually did a video about all the included food on Star of the Seas, and Aquadome Market definitely was featured as one of my favorites, and you can watch that video in the description. This might be my favorite quiet space on any cruise ship that I've ever been on. The overlook is this stunning observation lounge at the front of the ship with floor-to-ceiling windows and the most incredible ocean views. But here's the secret. Those private overlook pods, they're first come first serve, and if you can snag one, it's like having your own little private retreat with panoramic views. There are 2 bars there, Ryan Bean that specializes in coffee cocktails, and the Overlook bar that has your regular drinks. It's climate controlled, so whether it's hot and humid outside or the ship hits some bad weather, you can be comfortable with those amazing ocean views. We loved spending time there, and it is just perfect for the sunrise coffees or the sunset cocktails. If you've seen ice skating shows on other Royal Caribbean ships, Sol is a major step up. First of all, you have the circular Absolute Zero theater that puts you right in the action, and this show has a really large cast. Now, what makes this different is that they mixed in some extreme sports with figure skating. And I'm talking about ramp jumping on ice skates and acrobatic maneuvers. You just wonder, how do they do that on a moving ship out of all places? The pacing was much better than what we saw in many other ships. And what I loved was the theme. They themed it after different geographic areas in the United States, so it felt a lot more real and a lot more personal versus the more artistic or fairy tale-like themes on other shows. The show was very energetic, very entertaining, and definitely worth seeing the whole way through. Again, I'll cover this in detail in my entertainment video, but make sure to get a reservation for at least one of those performances. The next venue was introduced on Icon and it was a big hit, so they brought it back on Star, and it is surprising how much fun it is. 2 talented pianists compete in musical battles, taking audience requests, and creating this incredible interactive experience. There are sing-alongs, there's dancing, and you can even tip more to request your favorites to be played at the top. Now, the energy is infectious, and we found ourselves stopping by several times just to hear a song or two. But here's one thing, you need to get there 30 to 45 minutes early to get a seat. Once it fills up, everybody else is standing in the back, and there are dozens of people standing, so there's not even room to walk through. And trust me, you want to be sitting down for this whole experience. Now, this one might seem like an odd choice for a must-do activity, but hear me out. The Pearl isn't just decoration. It's this incredible 3-deck kinetic art installation with over 3,500 moving tiles that create mesmerizing patterns. What makes this special is that it's become the iconic symbol of the Icon-class ships. When people see photos of Star of the Seas, they recognize the Pearl immediately. And let me tell you, it makes for some incredible photos and videos. Those tiles, they move in synchronized patterns with color-changing LED displays, and it's honestly hypnotic to watch. Plus, it's right there in the heart of Royal Promenade, so you walk by it constantly, and every time it looks different. So if you're looking for that perfect Instagram shot that screams, "I'm on the world's largest cruise ship," the Pearl is your backdrop. The adults-only hideaway area is something special, and that infinity pool that's suspended about 150 feet above the ocean is the centerpiece. What I love about this space is the incredible wake views. You're literally just kind of hanging over the back of the ship, watching the ocean stretch out right behind the pool, what seems like. So it's particularly stunning at sunset, and at night it's lit up in a beautiful array of colors. Now, this area does have a beach club party atmosphere with DJ and live music, so it's not quiet like Solarium on other class ships. And if you're looking for that fun, energetic vibe with other adults, this is your spot. There are 2 hot tubs there, plus a lot of seating, and the Hideaway bar serves some specialty cocktails. Just a reminder, it is for 18 and older only. Okay, the last one is very different, but meeting Sailor, the ship's chief dog officer, is genuinely special. She's a golden retriever who actually lives on the ship, and she's become quite a celebrity. I spotted her around Surfside, Central Park, and near the Overlook. And she's incredibly friendly. She's just a puppy right now, but she loves belly rubs from guests. It is such a unique experience. I mean, how many cruise ships have a resident dog? For families especially, kids absolutely light up when they meet Sailor. Just keep your eyes open when you're walking around the ship and you might get lucky and spot her. Now, I know what you might be thinking. With all these amazing activities, how do you prioritize your time? And for other things, what worked well, what didn't, and what would you do differently next time? Well, I've got you covered. Make sure to watch my complete Star of the Seas review next, where I break down everything that worked well, things that did not work out as well, and I'll give you that real insider scoop on how to make the most of your cruise on this incredible ship. Thank you for watching.